Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about a game I've been following for a long time now, and honestly, I've had pretty high expectations for it. It's Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive, and I want to share my actual thoughts on it. Not marketing talk, not trailer hype, but how the game really feels, what works, what doesn't, and why I think a lot of people are going to be talking about it once it launches. So, let's start with first impressions. The moment you jump in, you immediately get that familiar solo leveling vibe. The animations, the movement, the attitude of Jinwoo, it all feels like it was pulled straight out of the anime. And what surprised me the most is how quickly the game lets you feel powerful. Most RPGs make you grind for hours before you feel even slightly strong, but here, the first time you land a perfect dodge or a clean parry, you instantly get that rush of, oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The combat has this momentum that just pulls you in. Every hit feels heavy, every animation feels sharp, and even though things start off simple, it ramps up extremely fast. Visually, the game is kind of a mixed bag, but in a good way. Some areas look absolutely stunning, like a mix between an anime cutscene and a modern action game. Other areas feel a bit empty, like they're missing some environmental detail. It's not something that ruins the game, but it's noticeable. Characters, on the other hand, look incredible. Jinwoo's animations, the shadows, the effects when abilities explode across the screen, it all looks insanely polished. Sometimes too polished, actually, because there are moments in the middle of intense fights where there are so many particle effects flying around that you literally can't see what's happening. It looks amazing, but it can also be a little overwhelming. Gameplay-wise, though, the game hits really hard. Combat is fast and smooth, but it's not brain-dead button mashing. You have to time your dodges, learn when to parry, and actually combine skills in a way that keeps your momentum going. And the game absolutely nails the feeling of getting stronger. Every few minutes you unlock something new, a skill, a stat upgrade, a crafting material, and while the systems aren't super complex, they're satisfying. Crafting weapons is way more fun than I expected too. You destroy monsters, collect their drops, and turn them into iconic blades from the manhwa. The daggers are easily my favorite because they match Jinwoo's style so well. Dungeons are simple but effective. You jump in, fight through mobs, clear the rooms, and then take down the boss at the end. And the real fun starts once you unlock the harder dungeons. That's when the game starts testing your timing, your dodging, and whether you actually understand how your skills work. A lot of people keep asking about co-op, and yes, the game does have it. You can play the entire story solo if you want, but when you queue into raid-style missions with other players, everything changes. Bosses feel more intense, fights get way more chaotic, and when everyone pops their ultimates at the same time, it's a complete explosion of effects. It's messy, dramatic, and honestly, really fun. But to keep it real, co-op still isn't perfectly balanced. Some bosses die too quickly, others drag on too long, and during the flashiest parts of the fight, it's basically guess the attack because you can't see anything. Even with those flaws, playing with others adds a ton of energy to the game. Now, as much as I enjoy Arise Overdrive, there are things that might bother some players. Some environments feel a bit empty. The game could end up being repetitive if the endgame doesn't get enough variety. And yeah, the visual chaos can be too much sometimes. But none of these issues ruin the experience. They're small things I noticed after spending a good amount of time with the game. Performance-wise, the game actually runs well. You don't need a crazy PC to enjoy it, and even during big, flashy fights, the frame rate stays surprisingly stable. The official release is planned for November 24th, 2025, and honestly, I think most people's PCs will handle it without issues. As a longtime solo leveling fan, I was nervous going into this. Adaptations based on anime or manhwa don't always turn out great, but here, they genuinely captured the heart of solo leveling, that sensation of going from nothing, from being weak and overlooked, to becoming an absolute unstoppable force. It's not a perfect game, and the big question mark is how deep the endgame will be. But right now, the core experience is strong. The combat feels amazing, the progression loop is addictive, and the overall atmosphere feels true to the source material.
But before I wrap this up,
There are a few extra things worth mentioning, because the longer I played, the more details stood out. The sound design, for example, it's seriously impressive. Every hit, dash, and shadow effect has weight. When Jinwoo teleports behind an enemy and lands a critical hit, it sounds like a critical hit. It adds so much intensity to the gameplay. Enemy variety gets better the more you play. Early enemies are simple, but later ones teleport, dash, spam ranged attacks, and do everything possible to ruin your life. It keeps the combat from feeling repetitive. Jinwoo's movement is extremely smooth, almost too smooth. Dashing feels incredible, but you might overshoot buttons, ledges, or enemies just because the movement is so responsive. It's great once you get used to it. The UI takes a bit of learning, but the skill trees look fantastic and actually feel meaningful. And the boss fights? Some of them are legitimately cinematic. Multi-phase monsters that challenge you, force you to dodge constantly, and give you that huge adrenaline rush when you finally win. And honestly, if the devs support the game with updates, new dungeons, new raids, new gear, maybe even new characters, Arise Overdrive could have a really long life. It has that just one more run energy, where you finish a dungeon and immediately want to do another one. So, yeah. That's my full experience with Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive so far. It's fun, it's flashy, it's addictive, and it captures the exact power fantasy fans wanted. If you're even slightly into action RPGs, or you love solo leveling, this game is absolutely worth keeping an eye on. Let me know what you think. Are you planning to play Arise Overdrive on launch? Are you excited, cautious, or waiting for reviews? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious how people feel about this one. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.